So on this question, it's just easier to do a video for it. So it says, in a test of the null hypothesis mu equals 8 and the alternative mu does not equal 8, sample size of 220 leads to a p-value of 0.034. Which of the following must be true? So the null hypothesis should not be rejected at the 5% level. That would be false because it should be rejected. The p-value would be less than alpha. 95%. So in this case, I'm going to say reject and at 0.05. A 95% confidence interval will not include mu equals 8. So since we rejected, 8 should not be included. So that's going to be a check. The sample size is insufficient. Well, it's 220, which is greater than 30. So it is sufficient to draw that. At the 5% level, if the null is rejected, the probability of a type 2 error is 0.034. The p-value is not the probability of a type 2 error. The probability of a type 2 error is that whole long process that takes a long time, but is not equal to the p-value. The 95% confidence interval for mu calculated from these data will be centered at mu equals 8. No, it'll be centered at whatever my x bar was, which it doesn't even tell us in the problem. So the reason why this is correct is because going back to the appropriate confidence level from your alpha, so if alpha equals 0.05, the appropriate confidence level would be 1 minus alpha, because this is a two-tailed test, which would be a 95%. So if we reject at 0.05, then we can 100% say that our 95% confidence interval is not going to include mu equals 8. And we can say that in a multiple choice question. So we can make that assumption. And the thing that we're 95% confident about is that 95% of the time it will capture the true mean. So 95% of the time it'll capture the true mu, but we're 100% confident that it won't contain 8, which is what our null hypothesis is. So I think that's where we get the will 100% time thing a little mixed up. So we can confidently say that it won't include 8, but we can't 100% say that it will contain the actual mean. We can only be 95% confident of that.